The Huawei Mate 30 Pro has a lot going for it, but it also has a lot of issues to overcome. Having had the phone for over a month at this point, what are our thoughts? Well, let's dive in with our full review. Thanks for watching 9to5 Google on YouTube. Be sure to thumbs up, hit subscribe, and then enable notifications with the bell icon so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Before we dive into the rather obvious shortcomings, let's talk about all of the exceptional hardware and indeed software features that litter this truly 2019 flagship. The Huawei Mate 30 Pro, for starters, is dominated by that large uber curved display, and it wraps around the edges unlike any smartphones currently on offer. If you're not a fan of a curved display, then this will be a complete no-no, as I can understand there are some obvious shortcomings as a result. Because there are no side bezels as such, Huawei has removed the volume buttons and we rely on a software volume rocker approach. That is annoying and finicky, but it has been improved with recent software updates. The display too is also only a Full HD Plus AMOLED panel, but a superb one at that. It's disappointing that the Mate 20 Pro does have technically a higher resolution display, but the green tint issues and production of that mega curve at each side could be the reason for the bump down to Full HD Plus. As you can see, the notch still persists and it includes slightly improved 3D face scanning tech for super fast unlocks, and a 32 megapixel selfie camera is housed there too, but more on that later on. In the hand, the extra curves on the display help give the entire package a much more compact feel, and it really does feel superb in the hand, I must say. The weight of the device also gives you an assured feel in the hand, while at the back the refreshed design is simply gorgeous with that circular camera bump and etched fascia. Make no mistakes, Huawei knows how to make hardware, and you can see the influences of the P30 Pro, Mate 20 and more all rolled into one truly premium package. I'm still concerned about durability as a result of the display being so curved though. That said, there are a few hardware faults that do become obvious once you get into the software, but overall this is one of the most striking designs in recent years, and it is a true flagship device with barely any bezel, exceptional materials and a fantastic feel when in use. So now of course we have to tackle the tricky software portion, which is really hard to quantify. You may have seen that there are methods to sideload Google Play services on the Mate 30 Pro, which is great, but it really isn't a solution to a problem that of course isn't of Huawei's making. Let's discuss the neat additions though before we really do tear down the Google free EMUI 10 build found on the device. Of course, I mentioned the lack of volume buttons. Well, you turn up the volume by using the edge of the display just above the power button by double tapping. It was initially frustrating, and it still is at times, but software updates have made it far more responsive and accurate, to the point I actually quite like it, despite it being pretty gimmicky. There's also some neat but even more gimmicky hands-free controls like the Pixel Force Motion Sense. The front-facing camera can detect hand swipes and gestures to scroll down a web page. It works well, and I can imagine it being useful for cooking for instance, but is it really necessary? I'm not quite so sure. The screen attention feature though is far better, working out when you're looking at display and adjusting the orientation accordingly. It works exceptionally well in practice, and I do really like this addition. Neat software additions aside, we can't really dismiss the lack of Google Play services, as without them the Huawei Mate 30 Pro in Western markets is a very strange device. Just look at my home screen for proof. I personally rely on a myriad of apps that use Google mobile services. For the purposes of this review, I initially restored and was adamant that I was going to use web apps and workarounds to use the phone, but I personally found it impossible to even be remotely productive without access to the Play Store and certain Google apps such as Gmail, and as a G Suite user, it was really difficult not having access. The AOSP build of Android 10 is far too bare bones for the average person, and the Huawei app gallery has a long way to go before it is even a viable alternative for 99% of Western buyers. Sideloading APKs is an option, but it should never be the solution to a problem that of course we know wasn't of Huawei's making. It is a sad indictment, but while the Kirin 990 chipset and 8GB of RAM make this beast of a phone fly, without the common apps to run, it feels like an F1 car on a drag strip. Insanely fast in one direction, but this thing is designed to take corners and hairpin turns. That said, there are some more saving graces though, as the camera on the Mate 30 Pro is simply sublime. Huawei has a habit of slapping in camera grunt, and the Mate 30 Pro duly delivers. Images out of that 40 megapixel main sensor are crisp, clean and overall have great dynamic range, albeit with more saturated colours. You also get a 3x telephoto zoom lens at 8 megapixels and a 40 megapixel cine lens. The flexibility on offer is almost unrivaled by any but the P30 Pro. Night shots are superb in the auto mode, and we get a tad more detail when you use a long exposure night mode. Overall, in a nighttime scenario, the P30 Pro and the Mate 30 Pro are two of the very best phones you can pick up. It really is a fantastic stills camera system that is backed up by solid video, which is finally available in the 4K 60fps flavour. The slow-mo 7680fps mode is a bit of a gimmick, but a true wow feature at that. I still think the OIS needs a little work, but the video chops have been suitably bumped over the previous generation, and that is one area which I must give Huawei credit. One other major strong portion of the Mate 30 Pro has to be the battery. The 4500 mAh cell, it really is massive and has exceptional longevity, although I do find the Mate 20 Pro had slightly longer lifespan. I've seen the screen on time figure hit an average around about 8 hours, and then topping up via the 27-watt wireless charger is simply insane. Huawei knows how to make a big battery last even the longest of working days. Overall, apart from a few things here and there, I can't fault the Mate 30 Pro's hardware package. It's fast, powerful, has exceptional cameras and battery, but the software really is a massive red mark on the check sheet of the perfect smartphone. Of course, if you are happy to tinker and install Google Play services manually, then you might be a very happy owner, but for anyone else not confident doing so, then it pains me to say that you shouldn't pick up the Mate 30 Pro despite the exceptional package on offer here. No matter your opinion of Huawei, hopefully we do see a resolution to the US-China trade bans and issues, because this superb phone has fallen victim to trade wars, and that is bad for us buyers on the whole. Of course, let's open the discussion to you though. Are you considering the Mate 30 Pro even despite the lack of Google Play services, or is it dead in the water? Let us know down in the comment section below, but until next time, this is Damien with 9to5 Google, and I will speak to you later.